Hey, everybody. Um, Chris will think of something witty. Waiting.
Meow 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 meow.
This right here has the ability with a 30 caliber clip to disperse with 30 bullets within half a second.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber.
You're listening to your weekly dose of BS, Ballistically Speaking. The Ballistically Speaking Podcast.
Oh, wise guy, eh?
Wise guy, eh? Jens like, what the fuck? Right. We made Jens what the fuck right off the bat. It's a good day.
Yes. That's how
You know
we
what?
know we're alive.
I guarantee you that Jens logged in after you said Chris will think of something witty, and just as I was saying meow,
Right.
meow, meow.
Oh, shit. How are things, man?
Oh, it's how many weeks has it been since I've been on the show?
I don't know. It's been
Was it 3 or 2 weeks in a row that I wasn't on?
2 in a row because Bending was on last week with me, and then I think the week prior to that was with John and me.
Yeah.
And then, the week prior to that, I don't think we had a show at all. Because you're down in Mexico, right?
So
and
this
then,
was 3 weeks.
Yeah. And then
Holy.
Then it was John before that, and then before that it was a Chris and Carly fest.
Oh, that was a long time ago. Yeah, Spud says just throwing the zingers right away. It's not, everybody's like been in like shit on Chris withdrawal, so I'm expecting the barbs this evening.
Yeah, well, I think I got the brunt of most of what you usually receive, at least the last show. Anyway.
You were my surrogate.
That's right.
My little whipping boy.
I had to curl up in a ball afterwards and have a little cry.
Oh man, that's too bad.
Yeah,
Chris, what the fuck is up with your government coming to our gun show spying on us? What do you mean? Was our government at one of your gun shows?
I don't know.
Or is he talking about Crusader Arms was at the TriggerCon?
Oh, I don't know. Sounds like there's a story there nonetheless.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait for Bending to reply there. So this isn't so bad. So I got a couple of highs. Yuka Kazi, what's up? That's good. Nice. Oh, hey, no, wait a second. Yuka actually gave me a compliment. That double-ended mag video was pretty tight. Neat way of skirting mag capacity laws, eh? No. There's no skirting. You can't skirt laws in Canada.
No.
We're just complying with the laws that our overlords have set.
You skirt the laws, they come to your house and take your toque, eh?
Yeah, they take your toque. They give you a real talking to.
That's right, eh? Take your beer and stuff.
Yeah. Take all of your beer. It was nice though that you said something nice because everyone else is shit talking me. Alberta Rob says, yeah, I know. Rob says it's nice apparently that I'm gracing you guys with my presence this evening. Jens is just calling me a part-timer. I'll say this. It's something very interesting. Captain Rimfire, Private Rimfire, whatever I've been demoted to this particular week.
Right.
For what? The first year that I was on the show?
Right.
And then the pandemic hits. Oh, and yeah. I barely do any what's it called? Maple Seeds. For nearly 2 years. I don't think that he's called me Private Rimfire for close to a year now.
Well, I think he's moved on a little bit.
Has he moved on?
Well,
that's too bad.
I said a little bit. He'll never forget
it. Hold on a second. Yes, in Montana in September. I got it. Bending's got to explain what's going on with this. The government coming here. It said they were in Montana in September, but I need to know what that is. Mr. Phil Odell, evening lads. How are you, sir? And he says, yeah, they were spying on us. I want to know more about this. I bet they say sorry after taking your guns and beers.
Yeah.
As you
Sorry, I'm just doing my job, eh?
Yeah, just doing my job there. Have you seen there's what's the name of that YouTube channel? They do politically incorrect, like right-wing cartoons.
Oh,
I can't remember what it's called, but they did a video called Canadian gun confiscation. And like, hey, if you don't mind there, I'm gonna have to take all your guns away. And he's like, oh no, I'm afraid I won't be able to allow you to do that. Oh, it's gonna come to a shootout then, eh? Yeah, it sure looks that way. they're like blasting at each other. And it's like, oh gee, sorry, I hope I didn't hit you there.
you know,
Freedom
for a
tunes.
guy,
Freedom
for a guy
tunes.
who's
My kind of comment.
for a guy who's as busy as you are, I can't believe you watch so much YouTube. I don't.
You know what
I can't seem to fit that much YouTube into my day.
You know what it is? Where's my here?
What's that?
Most people have a toilet book. I have YouTube on my phone.
Give me a second here.
Okay. Oh, Kurt's got somebody at the door. Should we play this? Oh, no, he's sitting back down again. They must have left. They decided against it. They realized that he's recording and that he's not going to answer the door. Is that what? Oh, you had to get some. I thought somebody knocked on your door.
No.
Had to get some.
I don't want anybody knocking on my door here.
Come and knock on my door.
Oh,
Alberta Rob, Babylon B. No, they're the guys with all the memes. Freedom Tunes is the one with the politically incorrect cartoons. But yeah, pretty
I'm
funny.
gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, send me the link on IG. I have this conversation has completely gotten away from me already. Wasn't that a scene in a Red Green movie? I don't know, Phil. You know, I'm ashamed to say I never watched the Red Green show when I was a young lad. I was too busy watching Kids in the Hall to watch Red Green.
Well, okay, so that may be your only saving grace. Jesus Christ, you don't watch hockey. You never watch Red Green. Like, what kind of Canadian are you?
I'm aware of Red Green. I know about the duct tape. I know about the keep your stick on the ice. You know,
I may have to reassess our.
I was Phil's like, what? I was way too preoccupied watching Kids in the Hall do the Chicken Lady and the what was it, the lifetime supply of Kraft dinner, and
that
all you're good for is fucking. That's the one. Fattening up our tapeworm.
You may have just saved our.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Now we're cooking with evil gas. There's another one. Kids in the Hall there.
Yeah.
Reservation Dogs is good for a laugh. How do you mean do? I don't know what Phil means.
Yeah, we're not connecting those dots here right now.
What do you mean do?
Do
People. You know, Letterkenny is one that I've never watched, but I've watched many clips of Letterkenny, and it seems funny as hell.
It is. Like, I can't believe they come up with those writers are just brilliant.
Yeah. You know, what was Kenny versus Spenny? Did you ever watch that?
Well, oh God, that was a long time ago, and I thought that was ignorant as hell. So I just had better things to do. I hated that show. Yeah, go play street hockey.
It was just the most ridiculous thing on television. I never watched Letterkenny because the title reminded me of Kenny versus Spenny, and I just never even gave it a chance. Let me guess, a Letterkenny reference there?
Yes, yeah.
Even Dan's got a Letterkenny reference too, even in your BSers. That actually isn't a Letterkenny reference, I don't think, but it sounds like one.
A bunch of D-gens.
Yeah, a bunch of D-gens. And I thought this was a dry camp. He thinks it's the nicotine. Hey, we should start the show.
I suppose at some point that'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
Now that you're done trying to keep up with this conversation, which we have no hope in hell of doing.
I'm just letting the conversation go. you guys have at her. I'll pick out like the odd comment as I can see them. This is what it must be like for. I'll explain what I'm talking about.
Someone
Send
popular.
me the link. No, yeah, somebody popular when they're you see these like what's his name that live streams all the time, Donut Operator,
Oh yeah.
and like his stream is just going a mile a minute, and he picks out like
Yeah.
every 50th comment or something like that. What Bending says, I'll explain what I'm talking about. Send me the link.
Oh.
If he's going to explain what he's talking about, how would we send him the link?
No, he's talking about sending them the show link
Oh,
to get on.
Jesus. Brr. This is already getting like the estrogen addition from,
Meow,
from
meow, meow,
Taco,
meow,
but-
meow, meow. Yeah. Oh my God, no kidding. And whose fault was that, Phil?
I think it was Phil's fault. He provided most of the estrogen.
Right. He bust them in, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, he trucked them all in. Your Connect government at our gun show. I have no idea what's going on anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's acknowledge some of the key players in the Ballistically Speaking cult, shall we?
Let's do that. Well, tonight, as always, among the list of supporters that we have EM Precision Rifles in Leduc, Alberta. They have the tools, the knowledge, and the support you need to achieve your goals of precision rifle mastery. As skilled craftsmen and proven solution providers, EM guarantees equipment performance second to none. Your personal performance is another matter altogether. Consult with Shane for the build of your dreams and allow Steve to handcraft your next precision tool for an experience you will not forget. And by tool, I mean the rifle itself.
I was just going to say that this ad reads like a personal ad on like a prostitution website. This is a Craigslist. What was that? There was a category on Craigslist that everybody used to use, and then it went away. Not missed connections.
Men seeking
Casual encounters or something like that.
Okay.
It reads like a casual encounters ad from Craigslist. Anyway.
Well, for a not so casual encounter, find these gentlemen on Facebook, Instagram, and on their website at emprifles.ca.
Hell yeah. We are also brought to you by Bolt Action Coffee. For world-class specialty coffee from world-class Canadian Forces veterans, go to boltactioncoffee.com. Order up some coffee for any occasion. And while you're there, check out their great line of apparel, mugs, stickers, and patches. Help support a great veterans organization, as well as this show.
Did you see me doing my Christopher Freeland impression?
The bobblehead.
Yeah. Idiot.
Yeah. Shout out to Yuka Kazi for helping me with that casual encounters reference. Clearly a former user of the platform.
I think so, yeah. There's an old veteran there.
Yeah.
All right, and the rest of our amazing sponsors, call sign 66, welcome to the Brotherhood. Book a course with them now at callsign66.ca.
And Odell Engineering. Pick up a Canuck shotgun or Brigera rifle from your local distributor and tell them Phil sent you. If they don't know who Phil is, you're not in a gun store. Look them up at odellengineeringltd.com.
Apex Optics. When you buy Apex, precision comes standard. Find them at apexoptics.co and grab yourself a Rival 4-32 rifle scope and get on the mailing list for more exciting products coming soon.
Do you remember when we used to say Vanya's name like all romantic like?
Vanya.
Vanya. I can't even do it
It's
without
like a
laughing.
cologne or a perfume or something.
You gotta get really close to your microphone. Vanya.
Okay, I just got to chill. And I was
Oh yeah. Yeah. Casual encounters, baby. All right. Ribstone Gunsmithing. Craftsmanship done right. Contact Oscar at ribstonegunsmithing.ca and breathe life back into any firearm.
And finally, March Scopes Canada. The Dion Optical Design line of rifle scopes has a scope for all your hunting and shooting needs. Find Doug and Niza at marchscopes.ca.
Yeah. Should I just talk like that into my microphone all the time? Like eat my microphone like Jocko Willink does?
That one, yeah.
Yeah. You ever notice on the Jocko Willink podcast, like they always have these, I think he does this on purpose, but they have these big long pauses and all you hear is this.
Oh, yeah.
And then he continues talking again.
I can only listen to him for so long. He's so incredibly monotone. Like he has a lot of profound things to say, but he's just so flatlined.
You have to get him with the right guest.
I don't doubt it, but
I've seen some guests, and usually it's the ones that are like the more intense episodes, like when he's talking to a veteran that like was disabled or went through some hellacious shit or something
Right.
like that.
right,
Then he's very monotone because he's very serious.
right.
But I remember he was talking with this guy. What the hell was his name? I can't remember his name, but he was a military guy, jiu-jitsu guy, whatever. But he
Okay.
was a little bit older, and he had done all this crazy shit. And they were just having this like laugh fest episode, listening to all these stories of this guy, what this
No
guy had done
kidding.
in his life.
I don't know
And-
that I've ever heard that.
Oh, I can get the episode, but it was actually pretty good. One of his better episodes for sure. Here I am like looking up the Jocko podcast so that
Yeah,
you
stay
guys
focused.
can. Yeah. Oh, here, this will be a good one if you want to listen to one. Just on Tuesday, he had Jeff Glover on.
Oh, is that right?
Do you know who
Okay.
Jeff Glover is?
Yes, I'm sure I do. I can't place it right now, but is that oh fuck, he's got something to do with survival or some damn thing.
Yes, a Fieldcraft Survival.
That's it. That's it. Okay.
Yeah, and he's a former. Is he the Green Beret or is he another Navy SEAL?
I can't remember, but he's man.
He was
he's got
special
some good
forces of
stuff.
some sort. Yeah.
Boy, you can respect a man like that, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to look through like welcome to the first welcome to
Oh.
Ballistically Speaking, where we
That's one.
that's one where we tell you all about the Jocko podcast. Echo Charles can be pretty funny. Jocko on Rogan is good. Yeah, he actually does smile on Rogan
Mhm.
Yeah. for sure.
I think I've seen it twice.
Yeah. Jocko needs to read for audiobooks. Jocko does read for audiobooks.
Yeah, for
Kyle Warner, somebody has clearly not listened to the audiobook version of Extreme Ownership.
Sure.
narrated for you by the authors. Jocko Willink and Leif Babin.
Oh goodness. All right.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah,
What have
let's
you been
care-
up to lately?
well, man, I went to Mexico, possibly got a parasite, maybe a bacterial infection, both me and
That
two of
sounds
my other
exciting.
brothers. Yeah. So the good news is I
Well,
picked
never
up
say
several.
no.
Man, there was some sketchy shit that we ate at a couple of places. I'm not going to lie. Lucky for me, you don't need a prescription for things like azithromycin in Mexico. So I
Mm.
came back with several bottles of it anyways. So I think I'm just going to open one of those suckers and see how that works out for me. Other than that, have you ever been to Mexico?
No.
Has Nancy been to Mexico?
Yes. She and her family lived in Mexico City actually for a year before they got placed in Canada.
Oh, okay. Has she ever talked about it? Did she like it there?
No, I think she was 11 years old at the time. So,
Oh,
it
she was young.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Here, you want-
Yes, for horse dewormer.
Yeah. Actually, I did bring some ivermectin back. it was cheap, so I brought it back. I brought it back just out of like a sense of duty to like piss off anyone
Yes,
who
no
like
kidding.
would be irritated that I brought some ivermectin back that I bought over the counter in Mexico. But anyway,
Doug's looking for a recommendation here, I think.
I'll
He
be in
says, I'll be in
Cancun.
Cancun. Yeah, in 30 days. Where did you pick
Well-
up your parasite? I want one.
I picked it up on the opposite coast, actually. I never had any fish tacos, and I never drank the water. However, everybody kept assuring us that the ice cubes were made with bottled water, and I think that's bullshit.
Who the hell does that, especially
Yeah.
in Mexico? Like,
Yeah, I think that's bullshit. So
you get what you get, senor.
yeah, so instead of drinking the bottled water all the time, we were drinking Mai Tais and what are they called? Not mojitos, margaritas, and pina coladas, and so there was a lot of ice drank, and I'm willing to bet you dollars to donuts at one of the sketchy places we went to did that. Oh, Rob, yes, that did go over my head, but now I get it. He's like, those fish tacos, and I'm like, I didn't have any fish tacos.
Yeah.
He's not talking about the
No.
food.
Can you get a parasite from that?
Well, I'm willing to bet you can.
Maybe.
But I was there with my wife.
Right.
So if I got a parasite from it, then my wife's got some splaining to do.
And just to be clear, Phil, he may have tossed the salad. We don't know.
You know, the funny thing about at least the Puerto Vallarta area, lots of dishes come with salad. I'm like, the fuck is wrong with you guys? This is Mexico. I had trouble getting
What
rice
meat
and beans
and corn?
and rice and beans.
Right. Yeah.
But like every dish I'm ordering is like it either comes with salad or it comes with French fries, like papas fritas. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck, man? Where's the rice and beans?
You know, I would write a letter if I were you. Seriously.
I almost did. And then I almost sent it too. Which mycin do I need, Phil? The azithromycin always worked good for me when I have bronchial infections. Yeah.
Kyle, Imodium and X-Lax, a traveler's toolkit.
He's not wrong. I do try. I have in my travel bag. I do have Imodium. I don't really have to use it very often, but I think you're playing with fire. You're playing with Ring of Fire if you don't at least pack Imodium.
Sounds like a recipe for a good weight loss program.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. My brother might have lost 30 pounds when he was there. He got the sickest of all of us. He was sick while we were there. I started having problems when I got back, and my other brother had problems when we got back. So I don't think either of us quite got it as bad as him, but I'm sure, man, everybody's just like insinuating that I have all these STDs on the chat. It's just like
Welcome back.
fish tacos, tossing salad, barbecue chicken, which I'm also sure, Joel, is some sort of sexual innuendo. Bronchitis isn't the only infection I've had. Sketchy taco trucks. I'm sure he's talking about human trafficking there. You know what's funny? Actually, it's not funny. It's kind of a sad commentary on humanity. There were multiple places near where we were staying that were closed, and not because it's just like we're at the end of the off season, but they were closed. Like, for example, there was a grocery store that's in a resort just northwest of where we were. So those are familiar with Puerto Vallarta. You've got Puerto Vallarta. South of that, you've got Viejo Vallarta, like Old Town. Then you've got north of that, Nuevo Vallarta. North of that is Bucerias. Then as you're circling around to the west on the top of the bay, you've got Punta Esmeralda. Then you've got La Cruz de Juanacastle, and then Punta Mita, like way out west.
Okay, we got
Just-
it. You learned your geography. Let's go.
Yes. No, I got it. Yeah. Well, for people who also know the geography, now they're going to know exactly where I'm talking
Now they're going
about.
to relate. Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
got you.
So in between Punta Esmeralda and La Cruz de Juanacastle, there was a resort that had a grocery store on the resort grounds. The grocery store got closed. Guess why? Take a guess. You have to guess.
Some sort of food poisoning or something.
Nope. I'm going to give the first person to comment. I'll give it enough time for one person to comment to see if they can guess why the grocery store got closed down, because it is feckin' gross.
No.
I'll just wait for the first drug trafficking. Uke says drug trafficking. He is not far off. It was a certain type of trafficking. Rob got it. Human trafficking.
You're
Doug. Yeah.
They were. What a brilliant front, I guess.
They were running underage kids out of a fucking grocery store.
Did you go burn that fucking place down?
It closed like 6 months before. Like they all got arrested like 6 months. And here's the thing. There was some, who the hell was it now? I don't think it was the presidents. It was, or some regional politicians
Oh, of course.
brother or brother-in-law or something was associated with the grocery store.
No
I don't know if he was involved in the human trafficking, but he was apparently involved in the grocery store. And so
That's
this
amazing.
brings me to my whole thing about Mexico, and I'm going to eat up like 2 minutes of airtime talking about Mexico. Here's the thing. Everybody loves Mexico, and everybody's like, oh, Mexico's so cheap. Go to Mexico. Mexico's so great. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, here. We drove all around all the small towns and that whole in the bay and the peninsula and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, it's beautiful scenery. You're really close to the equator. You're right on the coast. Like, it's very beautiful. But it looks very similar to Hawaii. Like the foliage and all that. The only difference is they have red rock, Hawaii has black rock. Right? But I'll say this. Hawaii doesn't have garbage everywhere. There is garbage everywhere. You look on the side of the road, you're trying to look at the foliage on your drive and try and enjoy the drive, and there's just garbage all over the sides and in the jungle. And like on the side of the road and everything. It's just like, man, it just ruins the whole thing. I was a hooker in Mexico. That sounds like a title of my book.
Hey, man, he had to earn his way back. Like, come on.
That's right.
Cut the guy some slack.
Had to pay for a first class ticket somehow.
Right.
So right there, I'm like, just go to Hawaii, right? And then everybody's like, yeah, but Mexico's so much cheaper. Okay, yeah. The peso is like approximately 15 pesos to $1 Canadian right now. But like 3 tiny little tacos at this little hole in the wall restaurant in La Cruz de Guanacaste, it was 180 pesos. That's like $11 and something cents for 3 little tacos, Canadian.
Oh, wow.
And like all the restaurants outside of the all-inclusives, they're priced in pesos, but they're all priced so that they equal about $10 American.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's not even cheap. A pina colada in multiple little towns, multiple restaurants, basically everywhere we went, pina coladas were 150 pesos. That's $10 Canadian for a pina colada.
Right.
Just so I can get hepatitis off the ice.
Sure. Yeah.
Or a parasite or whatever. So it's not even cheap. So why don't you just go to Hawaii?
Right.
Like Hawaii is priced, like $12 to $15 American. So it's maybe a little more expensive, but it's not that much less expensive to deal with all like the crime and corruption. Last thing I'll say about it, the day that my brother arrived, the one that got really sick, goes to the Budget Rent-A-Car, picks up his car, had to bribe the person at Budget to not give him the dented up, smashed windshield car. So that cost extra money. And he pulls out of the Budget and cops waiting for him, waiting for the gringo to pull out of the Budget Rent-A-Car, pulls him over immediately, accuses him of speeding. And he's like, man, I didn't even have time to get up to speed. He's like, I wasn't speeding. Arguing with this police officer. The cop wants to take his license, wants to take it down to the police station, tell him that he can come pick up his Canadian driver's license at the police station when he pays the fine in person at the police station.
No kidding.
So he has to bribe this this Mexican cop with 500 pesos to let him go about his way. And hey, shut up. And 500 pesos is what, like it's like $40, almost 30 some odd bucks.
No kidding.
And that was like day one, like right off the bat. So I don't know, man. Mexico needs, like, it's a beautiful, beautiful country, but they need to sort their shit out a little bit to justify some of the cost. And that's what I say about Mexico. So I'm going back to Hawaii in April.
We could apply a lot of that to Canada too.
Yeah, well, a lot of it we can. Well, at least we don't have to bribe police officers, bribe traffic cops.
Not yet.
But yeah, and you know what's funny is if the cop really wanted to be an asshole, he could arrest you for offering the bribe. Because it is technically illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's illegal to bribe them. So it's just a mess. My dog wants to eat. He's staring at me from across the room right now. He's like,
just like that.
Yeah. And then every once in a while he gives a little bark. So anyway.
Well, that sounds entertaining.
We're a half hour into the show. We haven't said word one about hunting.
Well, let's get at it then.
All right, let's do it.
You got any
Um,
plans?
Yeah, man. So my zone that I usually hunt in is open from November 15th to Belize. Sounds great, Jonathan Bergen. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oscar says hello to me too. Where's Oscar?
I don't know.
Or the Grouch. He's talking about the Grouch, not Ribstone Gunsmithing. Anyway, yeah, November 15th to December 4th in my zone for whitetail. I'm not drawn for anything. I have to be drawn for elk and moose in my zone. I'm not drawn for anything. I didn't even enter this year. But what's crazy is I can't remember exactly what's going on, but from the 15th to the 19th, I can hunt. After the 19th, the head of my jiu-jitsu association is in town, so I can't go hunting then. And then he's here for close to a week, or about a week, I guess. No, more than a week. And then as soon as he's gone, then I have to go do a business training in Banff until like December 5th or something.
Oh,
I gotta punch out and get our Mexican food cooked. I have to have the salsa ready. Now I need the carne. You know what's funny about Half Mile saying that? I've got up in my pressure cooker upstairs. I've got some chicken breast being cooked in salsa verde, and I'm gonna shred it all apart and make myself some enchiladas after the show. Anyway, so I talked with my partner whose land I hunt on, and he's available. I think he said the 17th and 18th out of the 15th to the 19th. He has to work.
Oh, is that right?
So I get 2 days to try and bag a whitetail this year.
Yeah, it can be done.
Yeah, it certainly can be done.
Especially at that time, because they should be just starting into rut right then. Actually, full on into rut around the 19th. Yeah, they'll be running around like brainless twits.
And it's usually like that. I mean, as long as we can find them, they're usually pretty dumb. Yeah, it's a matter.
We should maybe consider this year, since you and I don't seem to have a whole lot of extra time, is late season elk hunt.
Where?
I'll have to check, but there are every year there's certain zones available, and it's middle of December kind of thing.
Middle of December, yeah, that's a possibility. We should definitely look that up. I have never had the opportunity. Like, I only ever hunt on my buddy's private land.
Okay.
And it's all draw for moose and elk, despite the fact that he constantly has moose and elk on his property, because they never get drawn for it. So the moose and elk could just have figured out that, like, it's a reprieve on their property, I guess, because nobody ever gets to hunt them.
Oh yeah, they're not dumb.
So I've never got to hunt elk or moose, and I would love to do both. So,
hunting elk in rut is, well, both moose and elk is an experience that you will never forget, especially if you get a bull on the hook. Oh my God.
Love it.
They're screaming back at you.
I might want something a little more beefy than my 308, though. I know you can hunt elk and moose with 308, but I'm a pretty good shot, I guess.
Yeah, not too bad. And there's nothing wrong with 308 for that. I wouldn't hesitate to take my 280, but I would more than likely take my 358 Norma.
Yeah, for sure. I just had an epiphany.
What?
I might be able to get the 6.5 Grendel up and going before deer season.
Ooh. Hey. Yeah, you're going to have to hustle a little bit, though.
But this will be the first deer season with the carbon fiber barrel on the SIG.
Oh, the dilemma.
I know. It's just double fist out there. Take them both.
That's right.
Yeah. Or I've got 2 days. So on day one, I'll use the SIG. And if I don't bag anything on day two, I'll bring out the, so I'm going to convert the Sterling R18 into 6.5 Grendel. So
Mike Hynek, elk tastes better than moose. Change my mind. I will not, sir.
You know, it's interesting.
I love moose, but
I've only ever tasted elk once. I've been told that elk really changes in flavor depending on where it was habitating. And I apparently tasted swamp elk, and it
Oh.
was not particularly appetizing.
More than likely, Chris, it had more to do with your butcher than it did, and how it was, like how the elk was gutted and
Oh, yeah.
cooled and all that kind of stuff than the actual region or whatever you want to say.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
here's a question. And I've never been able to find a clear answer about this, and maybe you know. So when we have domestic animals, everybody's
Mhm.
always like, "Oh, you don't get gamey flavor out of cow or lamb or pig or whatever."
Sure.
And you always get the gamey flavor out of the wild animals. But then I heard somebody say that, like, if you um, uh, shoot a farmed deer, for example.
Okay.
Well, a farmed deer doesn't live a life a whole lot different than a farmed cow,
No.
except for the end of its life.
Right.
So, what the hell makes the difference there? Why does the deer have that gamey wild flavor and the cow doesn't? And I've been told that it's because cow is set to hang and cure for
Sure.
longer periods of time and always properly because of the commercial processing of it.
Yep.
Whereas people just don't properly hang and cure their wild game.
Very often. Yeah,
Do
absolutely.
you think that's a big part of it?
It definitely has something to do with it. I mean, it takes longer for a bigger animal like a cow to cool because their meat is much thicker.
Okay.
You know, they're just plain a bigger animal. Now I don't know. I'm no butcher or anything, but I know we've always kind of hung them for 3 days. Deer.
Yeah, okay.
Deer, and some guys say to hang elk and moose for 7 days. Bovine, I think it's closer to 2 weeks, and that's
Right.
at like +3 or something like that.
Yeah, and they're in like controlled beef lockers and yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm just
Yeah.
doing a quick Google search here. Oh, so this is for I did say how long is
Ron-
beef cured for?
Ron Wayne, you had elk burgers once. Oh, you don't know what you're missing, man.
So it's so it says here, according to like beef.unl.edu, whatever.
Yeah.
It says that beef is hung for at least 10 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, it allows the enzymes in the meat to break down the proteins and improve the eating quality, makes it more tender, but that's and allows the development of flavors associated with the aging process. Why are we just not doing that with wild game?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with like what Phil says is that wild game generally has less fat, and that's part of that that process, I believe. You
That's
get-
interesting.
yeah.
Phil said, I noticed he says, I have 2 Bergera that need field testing.
Tell us more. Who has 2 thumbs and can test a rifle?
This guy. I suppose the TM22 that I'm going to be buying from Odell soon probably would not fit the bill for elk or moose.
Yeah. Rob has a great point.
Okay, what's
that I
up?
should have come up with. Most of the gamey taste comes from the fat as well. The fat and the hair. You get deer hair on your meat for any length of time, and it can taint it for sure.
Oh, that makes sense because of all the fucking oils and grossness that they. Yeah.
It's not
I've
as though
heard-
cows are without that, but
Right. Well, yeah, but I mean, the process is so streamlined and efficient with at a commercial plant, right?
and then sorry, Bending, we don't eat coyotes.
We don't eat
Coyotes,
coyotes.
eh? Not
Don't eat
unless
them
it's-
coyotes there. So Phil said he meant to write true of any animal, really. But when I read this, I thought he was like, true, fuck any animal,
Right.
really.
Hey, we're not here to judge.
Yeah, fuck them all. They taste good.
Yeah. Old bull, young bull. Let's run down there and fuck a few of them. How about we walk down and fuck them all?
Oh. That's we were using different definitions of the word fuck there.
I know. I just took it too far.
Yeah, got it. Also, potentially parasites that you don't want to let develop.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Brought the symbiote home.
Yeah. Did you frame it?
Phil says, I have your TM22. You just need to get a lot closer. Yeah. Tell me about it. You know, if we
were in the area.
I was in the area. Yeah. Unfortunately, the TM22 wasn't when I was. Yeah. So if we could do elk, I think that would be great.
I think so. It's been a lot of years since I've shot an elk, and I'd love to let the air out of one again.
Let the air out of one. Do you think that you're going to bending's just all about me and hookers now? You got parasites from being a hooker in Mexico. Jesus. Okay. Are you planning on hunting this year?
You know what? I'm not planning on it. I'm going to take an opportunity if it comes up.
I'm sorry. I know I asked you a question, but Alberta Rob made me think of this. Say, I feel fine, guys. Oh, my stomach's a little bit sore, but it's kind of like. And then do the hello, my baby, hello, my honey from Spaceballs. Did you ever watch Spaceballs?
Yeah, I've seen parts of it.
Oh, so they got the original actor from he played one of the parts in Alien, and he was sitting. They did a space burger joint, whatever,
Right.
and the actor John Candy, he's like, I'll have the fish or whatever. And then all of a sudden the guy the actor from Alien starts convulsing on the table, and an alien bursts through his chest and then puts on a top hat and starts doing the dance. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. You know, all that. And then John Candy says, what did he order? And they're like, he ordered the chicken. And he goes, I'll have the fish. Or whatever he said. Yeah.
You had an entertaining childhood. Or young life. Yeah.
I really did. Now, I was asking you if you're going to hunt this season.
Yeah. I haven't made any plans. You know, I guess I'm still, my summer was stupid busy. And I just kind of haven't graduated yet to the next season. I'm sure I'll be experiencing some urges to kill things. Now, having said that,
just watch CPAC for a day. That'll increase your urges.
Well, no kidding, right?
I did not say that. That was a joke, RCMP. I'm just joking. That's just a joke. Anyway.
So, having said that, like I will probably make an attempt to go out at least whitetail hunting. I really like the idea of us going for late season elk if we can. That would be fantastic.
That sounds absolute gravy. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? We have a mutual particular friend who likes killing shit, but not necessarily consuming it as much as he likes killing it. So I usually end up inheriting.
We know a psychopath.
Of sorts.
Is this
I'm not revealing anything.
Yeah, okay. I understand.
Yeah,
I know who you're talking about anyway.
So my freezer will be full, more than likely. And he takes great pride in killing things. I can say that.
From long distances?
From long distances, yes.
This is my conundrum with taking a larger animal like elk or a moose. Right. I only have an apartment size freezer.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I can help you out with that.
Yeah, well, you just have to I'll come over every couple of weeks and grab a couple extra bags of meat or something.
Yeah, I'm a humanitarian that way.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you may find some slim pickings in that freezer because I'm a hopeless carnivore.
The other thing too is I could just eat all the shit in that freezer because I could fit a full elk in there for sure. I mean, once it's butchered.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I fit the deer in there no problem every year, and I could probably fit 2 in if I emptied all the other stuff out of it.
So what do
And
you do with your deer, if you don't mind my asking? I mean, like, how do you prepare it, and what's your favorite dish? And all
Great
that stuff? Are
question.
you a
So
barbecuer? Are you a roaster? Or
I'm a slow cooker.
yeah,
I like roasts as much as possible. I do them in the fucking bending's just all up my ass today. Phil, what a excellent suggestion, Phil. You got a extra power outlet? Buy another one.
it seems like pretty simple math to me.
Pretty simple math, yeah. 2 is 1 and 1 is none. So what the hell's the name of those pressure cookers that you buy now?
Oh
Instant
yeah,
Pot.
Instant Pot. Yeah.
Yeah, I like throwing the roast in the Instant Pot with like like I like braising, I guess is what I should be saying.
Oh man.
So
Yeah.
I do it with wine and then as the base, like red
Mhm.
wine as the base.
Right.
And then you throw in your spices and stuff. You put a dash of liquid smoke in there. You put some
Right.
Worcestershire sauce in there. You put some soy sauce in there, and you kind of make a braise out of it.
Right.
And so I braise it, and then when it's done,
Mhm.
then I very quickly open the Instant Pot and I throw in. I used to be potatoes, but Joanne doesn't eat potatoes much anymore. So I throw in some large chunks of sweet potato
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and some carrot.
Mhm.
And then I do it again, and you put it on for like 7 extra minutes, and
Okay.
it completely cooks the carrots and the sweet potato.
Right.
And then you haul all that shit out, and then you reduce the braised liquid into an eau jus.
Mm.
And man, I love
Wow,
that.
it sounds fancy.
Man, it is fancy.
You know
what
what
guy.
works seems
Orange
to work
juice
really.
with brown sugar.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
saw that. Orange
Yeah,
juice
that's
and brown
interesting.
sugar. You're gonna
Whoops,
have to
that's the
try
wrong.
that.
Yeah, that would be very sweet meat though.
Hmm.
My only,
But you know what? I'll bet you the orange juice would take care of a lot of the wild taste. if
I'll
you had
bet. Hey, I've heard that too. That like certain acids and stuff, if you just
Right.
soak it in there for a couple of hours, then like all
Right.
the acid taste is gone, or the gaminess is gone.
Oh,
But
look at this.
I think the wine does that. Look at
Hmm.
what. Slow cooker
Kyle.
or smoker. If you find any extra gamey steaks, that's what I've heard. Marinating in buttermilk of all things.
Well, I wonder if it has something to do with the enzymes in that in milk or buttermilk.
I wonder. That's a good question. And Phil says that I should publish that recipe. If I had a recipe, I would.
It's just like some of this. some of
Yeah, that's
that.
literally how I'm feeling today, and it comes out different every time.
You know what I found works really well for deer roasts is
What's that?
you make a spice rub and you get it on there and you let it sit in the fridge for a couple of days, whether you marinate it or not, or just leave it in the spice rub.
Mm.
Then I take it out, heat the living shit out of a cast iron pan, and what do they call that? Oh my god, where's my brain?
Searing?
Searing.
Yeah.
All the sides on it, and then throw it on the damn barbecue and forget it for an hour, 2 hours or something
And
like
just
that.
slow cook it
nice
on
and-
the barbecue.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's ballistically cooking podcast. Yenzi.
It's just like, I was told that we were going to be talking about hunting,
Right.
and
Killing
we have had a
stuff.
grand total of 15 minutes of hunting talk out of 48 minutes. Nice. Oh, man, that's awesome. This is coming to the YouTube channel soon for sure.
Cooking with Chris.
Cooking with Chris. Oh.
Eastern Bloc cooking.
Here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. We need to start a Patreon. And
Okay.
guys, we need you guys to support our livelihoods so that we can quit our day jobs. And we will put out so much content, including cooking with Chris.
Coming to you live from Chris's basement.
Exactly. But if they sustain us,
We
I'll
got an
build
extra
a
outlet, so we can set up our slow cooker.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, no, that barbecue, that sounds interesting because can never get enough roast, right?
Yeah.
You usually get the tenderloin roasts, keep those separate, and then you get shoulder roasts and stuff like that. But other than that, especially on your average deer, you're not getting large chunks of meat, right? And even the primary cuts, sometimes they're pretty small roasts, which is fine. We just don't do leftovers then that day. But the rest of it, I usually do sausage.
Yeah.
But I don't do it myself.
Right.
There used to be a place. Yeah, Phil's not wrong. He says, shoot an elk, you'll have more to experiment with. Some people hunt just because they're married. Yeah. It's a 4-day vacation. I have a very good relationship with my wife. I leave her in Mexico for 5 days and I come back to Canada.
Make enchiladas.
And make enchiladas. Yeah. Yeah. She gets them made for her at the all inclusive and I just make them myself. What was I saying? Oh yeah. There was a place. Yeah. For several years, there was a Hutterite colony near where we hunt.
Made your sausage.
They made our sausage, and I like the dry farmer sausages.
Right.
And they made an amazing farmer sausage. It was like, we're talking like out of the 1.5 inch diameter, like thick links of sausage. They made them in 1 foot long curled links.
So are you doing this purposely? I just need to stop you right now.
Well, are you hungry now? Oh, right. You're fasting.
I'm on, what is it? Hour 49 of a fast, just for shits and giggles. And you're talking about all this delicious, juicy, dried 1.5 inch sausage.
I would like to point out that it was your decision to talk about hunting, which is inevitably going to be talking about eating the. Oh, there we go.
I never thought that when I was.
I knew this comment was going to come from somebody. I'm all about the thick footlongs.
Yeah, I think you got him.
Anyway, that Hutterite colony
apparently
was having difficulty getting accredited for doing commercial butchering because they were doing wild game butchering, and they didn't something about they have to have separate areas or something like that, and they didn't want to do that. So they went and got a commercial license and stopped taking wild game.
Is that right?
And they stopped taking wild game that
happens a lot.
Yeah. And they stopped about, what was it, 3 or 4 years ago now? 3 years ago. So 3 years ago and 2 years, no, 3 years ago, I had it done by Prairie Meats. And I like Prairie Meats. And I don't want to shit talk anybody. A lot of their food, I love their food. I like them as a business.
Right.
Their sausage is just not on par. I'm sorry. It's just not. It's not good sausage. In fact, I've still got 3-year-old sausage in my freezer just because I don't want to eat it.
Oh, is that right?
It's for my 3-year-old deer. Unfortunately, it's just not good.
Oh.
I like my sausage extra girthy. He spelled girth wrong.
That's right. God damn it.
GIR. Yeah, that's how you spell it in American. And 2 years ago, we butchered it ourselves, which was fine. But I'm an amateur at that, and I didn't get near as much meat off of it as I would have liked to. I probably got like 20, maybe 15 or 20 pounds less meat out of a similar sized deer than Prairie Meats had gotten the year before. And then last year, I talked about it on the show. I shot a deer, but it wasn't my deer. And it was the last deer that we saw the entire hunting season.
Yeah,
and so
took the glory from that 13-year-old girl.
I did. Well, up until we field dressed it and found out that she had heart shot it and it was already dead. It just didn't know it yet. And I had lung shot it. So, yeah.
It's actually,
I will say this. Sorry, what?
Just reading Mike Hynek's comment there. It's not that hard to do sausage and pepperoni and whatnot yourself. I'd never take anything in for that. Well, and you know what? Part of it is space to do it. Unfortunately,
which I don't have.
I left my garage on her house, so so I no longer have that luxury.
Yeah, I like how you just call it the her house online, because
Yeah.
I actually saw what was going through your brain there.
The my her house.
Yeah. I don't even have a garage. Actually, I have a
Yeah.
parking pad, so
Yeah.
I just don't have the space. And then you got to buy all the equipment for it. And
Well, listen, I think we could convert your gym into a butcher shop there for several hours one evening with a couple of plastic tables. And
you know what, man? If I won the millions tomorrow, I'd kick out the guy who's renting the bay next to mine, because it's the perfect size to open a butchery.
And you really love that guy, don't you?
No.
Yeah.
But I 100% would do that. And I would it would like the Wild Game Butchery, and we do everybody's sausages. But anyway,
Yeah. So.
and you have to have good recipes too.
Mm-hmm.
You'd go through that process of trying to find the right recipe. You'd probably have a couple of years that you just aren't super happy. And I doubt that those Hutterites would sell me their recipe, because, man, I'll tell you, that was the best farmer sausage I've ever had.
You know, it's a bit of a mystery to me, because I've gone through sausage making and well, like even back to just butchering the deer. I think it's all about timing, and freezing that meat really, in my opinion, does something to that.
In a good way or a bad way?
In a not so good way.
Oh.
I remember out at the farm, we used to have a neighbor that had we always just called it the meat shack, and he had tables set up with Teflon on the top for cutting boards and that, and it spanned the whole table and had room enough. Christ, I think we'd hang 16 deer in there.
Okay.
And we'd get together every so often, and everybody would come over, and all these deer that are hanging, you hang a deer for 3 days, and 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 guys would get together one night, and all you do is you bring beer, and some asshole that didn't show up to cut his deer, we'd cut it up for him, but for payment for that, we'd fry up the loins right then and there, and we'd eat and drink beer and butcher these deer. And man, I'll tell you, it was good. And all you needed was seasoning salt, butter, and seasoning salt.
Yeah,
and it was excellent. But the damn things never taste as good after you freeze those loins and then you thaw them out again and you try the same thing. They're never as good.
Interesting.
Same with sausages, or at least this has been my experience, where you try a little bit of a recipe, you mix up a small batch, and you throw it in the frying pan or out on the barbecue or whatever, and Jesus, that tastes pretty damn good. Let's go with that, those ratios or whatever. And you go and mix up a whole 20, 30 pound batch or whatever. Yeah. And you take it home and you freeze it. And then you take it out, after and thaw it and cook it, and it just doesn't taste the same. So I'm not sure what the secret is there.
Interesting, because you can freeze cattle, you can freeze swine,
and
it doesn't
you can freeze all of it. Yeah. But I'm convinced the taste does change somewhat.
Really,
and whether it's a little bit more noticeable with wild game, I don't know. But I never seem to be able to recreate what we've tasted in the meat shack or immediately when we're cooking sausage or whatever.
You know what the secret ingredient was?
What's that? Love.
Yeah.
How did I know?
It was the manly love and camaraderie that you all shared.
That's right.
Meat shack.
Yeah, and at home you're just cooking with your wife.
Well, that's the thing, though. She's going to love you no matter what.
That's true.
When you're with your buddies, if the tenderloin you're cooking for them sucks, they'll dump you like a bad habit.
Oh, amen. They give you all the
Exactly.
shit parts to clean the meat off the bones
Yeah.
instead of the easy cuts, right?
Yeah, you got to work for that love.
And yes, Rob, you are very correct that it may have something to do with all the beer consumed. I
That-
will not dispute that.
That does change flavors
Does play a role for sure.
for sure. Well, you know, it's interesting. Most of the time, our deer is frozen by the time we even get it back to my buddy's place, because we're
Hmm.
hunting out in the middle of nowhere. Rooster loves his meat shack, and Chris loves his girthy sausages. That's, you know what? I'm not ashamed to say it. Yeah, I do. I'm completely comfortable in my masculinity by saying that. So what'll end up happening? Like, so for example, 3 years ago,
Right.
my buddy got his deer like first thing in the morning.
Okay. Oh,
And so
sure.
we field dressed it. We took it over to because it's just a tiny little cabin that we stay at that's out in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
So we took it over to the cabin, and then we kept hunting.
Mhm.
And then that night, we load them up in the trucks at the edge of the property, and then we
Sure.
we drive it back to his place, which is
You,
like
you
a
drop the
half
guts
hour
out
drive.
of them, though, right?
We drop the guts out of them right away.
Right.
Yeah, but they're basically frozen solid before we even get them back to his. And he's got a sea can on his property that we put them
Okay.
in.
Right.
But yeah, they're frozen solid. And this also, even if they weren't completely frozen, the sea can is not heated. So,
Mm, yeah.
and we're
Yeah.
talking like November in Canada here.
That's
So
tough on the fingers, man. God damn it. I hate cutting up frozen deer. I just
oh yeah, for sure.
despise
But
it. Yeah.
well, when we butchered it ourselves, he brought it into. They've got a big Quonset as well, and we brought him into the Quonset and hung him for I think it was 2 days
Okay.
before butchering them. And most of that wasn't because we were like hanging them properly. It was because we
Well,
needed them to thaw so we could cut the meat off of them.
Right. Yeah.
We got a tiny little black fly flying around.
Get him.
Yeah, I missed them. But when we take it to the butcher, we just hand him a frozen carcass and say, "Good luck, buddy."
Yeah.
And
Well,
but
you know
they
what,
hang them
you
for
know.
like a week before they get to them anyway.
Geez, the last. I'm almost ashamed to say it. The last whitetail I shot, I think, was 2018,
Mhm.
17, 18, something like that. Oh my God,
Mhm.
that's terrible. I had 1 day to hunt, and I actually got a pretty damn good buck, and gutted it and skinned it out and all that kind of stuff, and took it to a place. And here I am, so very particular about taking hair off and keeping it clean and all that kind of stuff. And concerned, especially if I'm taking it to a professional butcher,
Yeah.
how they'll turn their nose up at it or whatever if I brought in some skanky goddamn carcass, And I carried this carcass into his shop, and he says, "Just put it down on that pallet over there." So I did, and I looked over, and it was I can't remember what movie this was, but it was something to like go to the bathroom over there, and they look in the toilet, and it's all just shit everywhere. Like
That was
music.
Desperado.
Ah!
It was either Desperado or Train Spotting.
I don't know which, but it just kind of brought that to mind.
Just
like,
full
there's
of like grime from the previous
fucking
deer.
leaves and grass and hair all over the place, and like you're
Ugh.
keeping mine separate from those, right? Oh
I
yeah.
would almost just be like,
Oh.
you know what? I went to the wrong butcher. I meant to go to the one next door. That's crazy.
Unbelievable.
JR's here. What's up, JR?
Hey.
Oh, fucking
Nice.
bending. Why does it have to be a black fly, Chris?
So that's the way we do it in Canada.
You know what? I fucking assumed it's gender too. So it's a male fly. Isn't that a thing? Isn't male fly a thing?
I don't know. A shoe fly, I know that.
Shoe fly? Phil was asking a question. He said, question for all the chefs here. Is it advised that for good beef that you thaw it and bring it to room temperature before you cook it? I don't know about the-
100%.
You have to bring it to room temperature?
Well, you don't have to. I mean, you can do anything you damn well please, I suppose, but
'Cause
it
I
does make a
put-
difference.
I put fridge cold steak on the barbecue all the time because when I marinate it, I wrap it in plastic and put it in the fridge while it's marinating.
Mm.
And I put cold on there all the time. I would never do frozen. That's just, I mean,
No,
it's
you
gonna
want
be-
something really tough? Go ahead and throw a frozen steak or
well, it's
roast
not just
on
that. It'll be frozen when I eat it because
Yeah,
I don't
that's right.
overcook my steak. I'm not a psychopath.
it.
So I definitely has to be thawed, but yeah, I don't know if
Holy
it has,
smokes.
what's up?
Spudman here. He says my local butcher will charge $100 deposit to reserve a spot in his freezer during moose season. If you don't get your moose, you lose your $100. That's a
Well,
pretty.
that's a
gig.
good scam.
Well, I guess it makes you work a little bit harder, but
I guess.
also, you know, he'd better be a damn good butcher.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hmm.
He better hang that moose for the allotted amount of time so that there's no gaminess.
That's right. I want to see documentation too.
I want him to send me a video and photos on a daily basis. JR, black flies matter. Oh, fuck me.
Oh, well played, sir.
And we're canceled.
Hey, all flies matter, okay?
You know what? That fly didn't matter because I squished his ass.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Have you ever tasted bear?
Never. I've never had the desire to taste beer because people always tell me that bear tastes like poop.
I think
Are they wrong?
Well,
Because I do want to hunt bear.
there's so many dependencies. Is that the right word to use? It's same with antelope. A lot of people say antelope is good. A lot of people say bear is good. I think it's all in the preparation. And of course, with bears, you don't want to dump bear or something like that. But I've heard
Sure.
their
Phil
meat
says-
is quite sweet and very coarse
Sweet-
compared
oh.
to.
See, I'm not a
Yeah,
sweet
kinda-
meat guy. Like I don't eat lamb
Mhm.
because I don't like sweet meats.
Yeah, you know, I've heard that you have to stew bear in order for it to be good as well. I've heard that
Interesting.
from several people, but bear sausage can be made to taste really good, but it is very greasy from what I've been told. I want to try it someday, but
Phil says the biggest thing is getting the fat trimmed off really close. You know what we
Okay.
should do? Oh, okay. I wouldn't be able to do it next year, but we're gonna have to talk with Phil about this. You know what we need to do?
what's that?
Like 2024,
Mhm.
we need to do an episode hunting with Phil,
Yeah, we should do that.
and we can hunt bear,
Okay.
and
Let's
then
do it.
and we'll do a whole thing out of it. I'm just inviting us over to Phil's. It's okay, Phil.
Well,
You have almost 2 years notice. You just get ready for us because we're coming in 2024.
That's right.
I can't think of a better person to introduce us to bear than Phil. I mean, the man knows how to hunt.
Yeah. Mike,
I'm not even going to ask him. I'm just going to say it's going to happen in 2024.
Yeah, that's right. Just yeah.
If I ask him, he
Make
might
sure
say
you're
no.
ready. Put it on your calendar. Send him a calendar invite.
He says I can set up a bear hunt, but are you able to do a spring hunt? Would you be able to do a spring hunt?
I don't see why not.
You wouldn't be caught up with seeding or anything.
No, no.
See,
For sure.
now
I
we're
can make
getting
that up.
we're the rope in the middle of a tug of war because Phil's like, yeah, I'll set up a bear hunt for you, and JR's like, what? You're not going to hunt with me, or do I get to come along as well?
So the thing about that, getting JR,
Yeah.
those two together, JR and Phil, and you know, in order to hunt bears successfully, there's a lot of time you need to spend reasonably quietly.
Sitting in a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you both of those guys could do it together, though. It would be
Maybe.
interesting.
For how long though? They both be bursting at the seams, chewing at each other.
You know what though? I think I'd be worse than both of them.
Yeah, you know what? You might be right. Yeah.
They've got the years of discipline and experience behind them. I mean, just like,
You're just
Where's the bear,
fucking
guys?
motor mouth.
is there a bear yet? Hey, you know what I was just thinking about?
Yeah. Yeah. That's, oh my God, that is you to a T for sure.
Not when I'm hunting, though. I'm pretty good when I'm hunting. I like sitting in the snow and just waiting for deer to walk by. But
So what is your strategy when you go?
so we do a couple of different ways. There's a blind that's been set up on the property for years that all the animals are completely used to, but we never use it. We have decades experience ignoring people. So I don't, for whatever reason, we just don't use it because I just don't want to sit in the blind. But um, I do one of two things. I either like, we've got a couple of, there's some rolling hills. So
Right.
we like sitting just on the one side of one hill where we know that there's a deer trail on the other side of the hill.
Right.
And the hill kind of like blocks us a little bit. And so I like just sitting in the snow and waiting to see if we can see deer exiting the tree line and that sort of stuff. But I also like push and bush. We've got a lot of patchy forested areas. It's right on the southern tip of a pretty substantial forest.
Okay.
So their property is not fully forested, but it's got good amounts of forest in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoy push and bush. I kind of enjoy that.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense. It's always hard work because we're like, there's so much deadfall in that forest. And I'm stepping over logs and like, but I don't know. I enjoy it because I'm allowed to just like, I'm supposed to be like loud as fuck because I'm pushing. And this is the thing. My buddy that I hunt with, I think he's like 5'7" or 5'8", and he's built a little bit funny. He's got a very long torso and very short legs.
Oh no.
So I'm the fucking gazelle.
So you break trail.
I break trail. I'm always treading through the foot deep snow and stepping over all the fallen tree logs and all this kind of stuff. And pushing for him, but for some reason I don't mind it at all. So I like doing both, and it's nice when we have a day where we mix it up. Like I push for a little bit, and then sit for a little bit. So,
have you ever tried it yourself or been with someone where they're rattling for whitetail, or even mule deer works too?
Yeah, we've brought rattle along.
Yeah,
those, it's a little thing, they fit into each other, and then you can separate them from each other, and then
I like the genuine thumb mashers. The real deal. Yeah.
Oh, like the actual antlers.
Yeah, the actual antlers. But if you don't cut the brow tines off, man, you will hammer your thumbs inevitably.
I think it was it 2 years ago? We used an actual antler. I think it was 2 years ago, and we would just rattle it on the tree beside us.
And have you ever had any success doing that?
It's hard to say, we've never had it obvious enough that we knew that it was the rattling that brought them in. Honestly, man, I just can't say definitively that it's worked.
So I can tell you that pre-rut period, if you're set up right, got your wind right and your cover right, and you've got a good area, rattling works really well. And
pre-rut or
pre-rut. So I've always, in our region at least, I've always nailed it down to between November 5th and November 13th is the most successful time for rattling. And it's almost as good as calling a moose in. I mean, you don't get that answer like you get with a moose. He's waddling through the bush,
Yeah.
But they come in and they're drooling and they're just fucking. You get the right animal, and he's just looking for a scrap.
Yeah.
And you know what? Coyotes come to spectate as well.
That's funny. Yeah. Yeah. I can wonder why.
Coyotes.
Just really quickly here, Benny, we're not ignoring you guys. It's just the chat is going so goddamn fast today that we're missing 90% of what's happening.
Allegedly.
What was I going to say? I've never in that zone seen whitetail seasons for rifle start
Okay.
before November 15th.
Oh, I suppose.
Yeah. In that
Well, I
zone.
mean,
Now, we could muzzle load it. We could
Mhm.
give Ken Thiessen a call from Vortex Canada
Yeah,
and get
yeah.
some beautiful muzzle loaders. Is
Right.
Phil was Phil watching us on YouTube and now Phil's
Yeah,
watching
I
us
think
on
he was. Yeah, he's double fisting it.
Oh, he's just realizing the chat is different on Facebook and YouTube. Yeah. We are the
Yeah,
only
Phil,
ones who
you're
get to see both.
yeah. And Phil, you're missing a lot of the shenanigans on YouTube.
Well, Phil was on YouTube. He's actually
Oh.
saying that we can talk offline. He said
Mhm.
great luck doing spring next year. I would love to, but I might have to try spring of 2024. And the reason I say that is because spring next year, I will most likely be in Japan during
Oh, okay.
during bear season, during spring bear season. Oh, Phil's in both now. That's hilarious. So I think we got to figure some things out here because we don't want to make anybody feel left out. So we're gonna have to do bear with Phil, and you know what we should do? We should do like moose or something with JR.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here's what's gonna happen. Here's what's gonna
Okay.
happen. Phil's gonna make a Sterling R18 in 308. Call it the Sterling 19. I don't call it whatever you want. The R19. And then we're gonna take the R19 out for moose.
That sounds like a brilliant idea. Let me tell you, you are something else. Really, you are.
And once again, I've invited us along for this, and I'm also investing JR's R&D money for him. The R20 Mark 1. You heard it here
There you
first,
go.
folks. You're gonna bag a
Dude,
moose with the R20 Mark 1.
All right, I'll call him into 20 steps for you.
I want serial number 1.
Yeah.
Wait, there's usually like a lot of like iterations to do and development to do in these things. I want serial number 100.
No. You called it already. I'm sorry.
No, I would change my answer. Well, the lower never has to change very much, right?
No, I don't think so.
I want serial number 1,
Yeah.
and Phil wants number 23.
As usual.
Look at this, man. We just started a bunch of shit. Phil's like, I want number 23. Mike's like, I'd buy an R20 Mark 1. That's funny.
You know, aside from Justin Trudeau, we may be the best firearm salesman in the country.
He just might be. And Phil says he's got a Bergera in double XL for me. That's hilarious. Phil will always get 23. See, we're hooking people up. We're making connections.
Fucking matchmakers.
Yeah. Man, could you imagine? Oh man, Phil, if that R20 is actually a thing, holy cow.
Oh yeah.
He wouldn't even know how to spend the money.
That's right.
I think
the wheels are turning already. I know.
I'm being honest about that. I think that all of Canada is waiting for a what would you call it? A high caliber semi-automatic to hunt with again.
Right. Yeah.
Probably. I know I am.
Yep. I think that would go over really well, to be honest.
Of course, it's easy for us to sit here and say, yeah, just make another one.
Just whip that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Call me next week.
It's only what, like million and a half to fully R&D a completely novel firearm. No big deal.
Yeah, fuck all for a big operation like his.
Yeah, it's easy.
Just a few small changes on the drawings, and away you go.
Yeah, that's all you have to do, right?
Yeah,
All you have to do is you put it into the CNC machine, and then it's like a photocopier. You hit the 120% button, and it just makes a bigger receiver.
Yes, Chris.
Yeah,
That's precisely how it works.
guys, I know how the industry works. You guys can't
right.
pull one over on me. I know how it works.
What do you have in that bottle that you're drinking anyway?
It's stupid juice.
Yes, indeed it is.
See, no, JR confirmed it. He confirmed it. I'm right. Of course. It's like magic. Poof.
That's
New rifle.
Oh dear God.
The only problem with that is that I don't think sarcasm comes through in print as well as JR was intending it to.
Yeah, he's rolling in his eyes and throwing stuff at the screen.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Hey, so I wanted to talk about because I've told you, you know that I'm doing this, but I haven't mentioned it online. I don't know if I have one sitting beside me. Yep, this is it right here.
Yes.
So this is what I'm hunting with this year, which on camera just looks like, well, that just looks like a 308 with probably like a horny. Jesus. With
Yokohama. So 5 days without mama, hey?
I've been drunk the entire time. With a Hornady bullet in there. But this Hornady bullet is a 200 grain ELDX. Designed to kill the most amount of deer in the shortest. Man, you know what the moron's going to say. Yeah, it's true. Well, he might just pull a Joe Biden and like for the 116th time, he might say, "Oh, what? They're not wearing bulletproof vests. What deer do you know are walking around with bulletproof vests?" Anyway.
The intelligence.
No, this is not the 6.5 Grendel. This is a 308. I haven't
Right.
loaded any 6.5 Grendel yet because I haven't converted it. But yeah, so this is a 200 grain ELDX. I used to hunt with the 178 grain ELDX, and then the pandemic hit, and I haven't found any at any reasonable price that I wanted to pay for like 2 years.
Mhm.
So, but there's been lots of 200 grain on the market. So I thought, you know what, fuck it. 200 grain is really pushing the size for a 308, but I wanted to give it a go. And
It's a bush
regular
plow.
regular listeners of the show will know that I accidentally overloaded several of these one time. And we got a case stuck in my Sig Cross, but credit to IBI because it did not blow it up, not even a little bit. So
Chris, the proof tester.
yeah, the proof tester. But then I reloaded them and put the proper 42 grains of Varget powder in here, and these things get a little over 2,400 feet per second
That's pretty impressive for a 200.
for 200 grain bullets. So, you know,
And what length of barrel do you have on that thing?
it's an 18-inch.
Yokohama.
Yeah.
You're probably still pushing some pretty serious pressure there.
Oh, I have no doubt that I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, and before I ever test fired one of these, because I figured like if it can handle the heavy pressures of the hybrid cases that Sig is coming out with,
Mhm.
then it should be able to handle this no problem.
Yeah.
Um,
80 or 90,000 pounds, no big deal.
yeah, no rush, no pressure. So I emailed IBI and I was like, hey guys, like the factory barrel, they say that it's designed for when they bring out the hybrid 308 with these high pressures. Is your barrel able to handle the same pressures? And they said, well, we didn't get it certified like they did because the cartridge doesn't exist on the market yet.
Mhm.
But they were like, but yes, like it should handle those no problem. We designed it with that in mind.
Right.
So then I tested the and I've probably fired like 100 of these so far because
Mhm.
I always go out and practice with my hunting rounds before hunting
Yeah.
season because you know I'm not a moron. Not I just like
Pipe blade at 100 yards. Yep, she'll do.
yeah, exactly. And zero issues, no problems as long as I put 42 grains of Varget, not 45 grains of Varget.
Yeah, you
And
want to write that down.
Yeah, exactly. And even then, the barrel seemed to handle it just fine. It's just the cartridge fire formed very tightly inside the chamber, and then we ripped the case head off. So, trying to extract it. But I haven't seen any pressure signs in all of the cartridges that I've fired. So like I'm not popping any primers, nothing like that.
What brass are you running? What cases?
Well,
Or are they mixed?
For practice, I'm running mixed brass. For hunting, I'll use Winchester once fired.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got
So there's
a
more
crop of them set
room in
aside.
Winchester because they're a thinner wall. Their web isn't quite as thick, so
Oh,
your
really?
pressure, yeah, your pressure shouldn't run quite as high. Like I mean compared to say Lapua brass or Norma brass or something like that, some
Hmm.
better quality stuff that's thicker. So you know, when it's thicker, you decrease the size of the essentially the combustion chamber, right?
Right.
The smaller the the combustion chamber with the same amount of fuel, essentially,
Yeah.
you increase pressure. So
Interesting. Okay. Well, that's good to
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
Phil saying the same thing. Don't overload that wind brass. He's like that slow motion. No.
Oh, Ryan Giroux, Winchester brass is the worst brass I've ever loaded with. Man, I'll take Winchester. Maybe not the newer stuff, but the older stuff that came in the blue bags. I'll take Winchester brass over Federal, especially any day. Remington, lots of them seem to be hard,
Yeah.
like too hard.
Okay.
But anyway, that's just my
I've been just
take.
fine with it, and like I looked in several books, and several books that had loads for a 200 grain 308 round.
Mhm.
They were like saying max load is 42 grains. So there's lots of books that seem to agree that it's a reasonable amount of powder to put in this cartridge. But
Right.
the one that we separated the case head on, when I accidentally loaded it with 45 grains, that was a Winchester case.
Oh, was that? Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
So
won't
maybe no
laugh
surprise.
at
Yeah.
that.
So I guess Phil's advice of don't overload Winchester brass came a little bit too late. But I'm really interested to see, because most of the, I think I've said this before too. I think the longest shot I've had on that property was somewhere around the 150-yard mark.
Mm.
The shortest was a headshot at like 30 meters.
Right.
And this stuff is not dropping a whole lot up to about 200 meters. I don't have the
Mhm.
exact numbers. I have it in Strelok. I can't remember exactly what it is off the top of my head, but it's
4
really
inches.
not dropping much up to 200 meters.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's fairly impressive. I'm really honestly itching to get out to use my 6.5 rooster on a deer.
Oh, that
Just
sounds like fun. Yeah.
haven't done that yet in the 2 or 3 years that I've had it running.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Got off the YouTube side and came here to mess with Chris more about his parasites. You gotta be like Phil. You gotta be on both.
That's right. Anyhow, what is the
Oh,
case
sorry, Phil.
capacity of that
Yeah.
rooster? Phil, the case capacity, like full of water, is 48 grains, where like a 260 is down around 43 grains. 43 to 44, I think, is what it is. I get 2,980 feet per second out of a 142 Match King with that thing. So well, I think we were talking before that when I developed that cartridge, or designed it, or however you want to say it, the 6.5 PRC checked all the same boxes except for the bolt face size or the rim diameter. But the 6.5 PRC wasn't a thing at the time. So had I been a couple of years later with development of mine, I probably would have looked at the 6.5 PRC and went, nah, I'll just get a PRC.
You would just use a PRC?
I might have. There's some sense of accomplishment, I think, maybe with designing your own iteration of a cartridge. I'm not going to say designing my own cartridge, obviously. I didn't do that. All I did was take a 6.5 284 case and shorten it up 300 thou and made a few small geometrical changes to the case, and away I went.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Speaking of interesting cartridges, just before we're done for the night, have you heard of the 8.6 Blackout?
Yes. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit.
Did we? Fuck, I
Yeah.
want one. I want one of those so hard right now. I want one
Well,
so bad.
like, why don't you? I mean, to me, it almost seems like, oh, what the hell is it? Well, there's the 338 Federal, for instance, or a 358 Winchester. It's a bit of a grown up, whatever you're talking about there, but it's kind of the same effect. It's just
I'm sorry.
like a.
What, was I not clear? I said 8.6 blackout.
I know, but I'm saying it kind of. I wonder what you'd get for velocity out of that. And what is 8.6 in Imperial?
Well, it's a 338.
Is it okay?
Yeah, it's a 338 bullet out of a 6.5 Creedmoor case.
Well,
Just that
Get a-
alone makes it
listen.
awesome. I don't even care how the ballistics go.
get a sharp rock and a really good slingshot.
Why? I can get an 8.6 blackout. So here's the thing. Black Creek Labs
Right.
is making that new short barreled folding bush gun.
Okay.
And they only had it in 223 or 556 before. Well, now they're doing at TACOM. They announced a 308 and 6.5. I think it was just 308 that they
Okay.
announced.
Okay.
So the 8.6 blackout uses the same 308 bolt face because it's a 6.5
Sure.
Creedmoor cartridge.
Oh, is that what it is? Sorry,
Yeah.
when you say blackout, I was immediately my thought goes to 220.
The 300 blackout,
Right.
which is you're right, a 223 case.
Oh, interesting.
So
So again, 338
Faxon,
Federal,
is that what's the
Well,
parent case for that?
308 or 308 family.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. And so Mike is ruining this for me because he already said the answer, but what kind of a twist weight are you shooting with a 338 Federal?
I don't honestly know, but I would imagine it's around a 9 twist.
These fucking weirdos with this 8.6 blackout are using as little as 1 in 3.
Shut your mouth, really?
Not even kidding.
So it's a drill. It's an
Basically.
airborne drill.
It's basically an airborne drill. I watched a video just the other day. I was forget the channel, AP 2020 or something like that.
Okay.
He tested, I think it was a all brass burger round, but it's designed to mushroom and peel in 3 separate.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but
Sure.
like the bullet is like this long,
Okay.
and you get like it mushrooms like this and creates barbs basically when it mushrooms that are like this long each. And he tested it in ballistic gel out to 200 meters.
Okay.
So first of all, it's a 300 grain bullet that he's firing out of a 6.5 Creedmoor cartridge at just under 1100 feet per second. So it's subsonic.
Right.
And it's still mushrooming perfectly at 200 meters. And it's rotating so fast when it hits the ballistic gel that it actually creates a cavity this wide, and you can see the spirals in the cavity that it creates in the ballistic gel.
I don't doubt that with that twist rate. That's
You want to say like fuck up a deer or fuck
Yeah.
up a moose or
right.
whatever. And again, in the ballistics gel at 200 meters, he had a 2-foot ballistic gel backed against a 2-foot. So he had 4 feet of ballistic gel.
Okay.
It at 200 meters, it went completely through 2 feet of ballistic gel and about 4 inches into the second.
Well, you know,
ballistic gel.
that's what they say, or that's what they said at the beginning when they developed the 300 blackout is getting through heavy clothing and some armor in that. Just that slow, heavy projectile has penetration like you wouldn't believe, apparently. I have
isn't that
nothing to
weird?
back that up. It's just stuff that I've read.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and Phil's saying if it went that deep, it isn't destabilizing.
true.
And no, I don't think the round was destabilizing, but it was mushrooming. Like he's pulling the round out of the you know what I should do? I should just show everybody a still of it because it'll blow your fucking mind.
I'm not so
but,
sure.
like,
I've seen some stuff in my life.
It's
Hey, Alex.
I got to look it up in my my watch history now.
Hmm.
But
It's an interesting
This-
concept. I'm not.
yeah,
sold.
I mean, the subsonic thing isn't such a thing, you know, because we can't have suppressors up here anyway.
yeah, it really
Makes
little difference to us. Yeah.
Yeah, but even if you were using a 200 and some odd grain round and it was supersonic, I really wonder how small does 338 get in terms of
Like bullet weight.
grains? Yeah,
I
bullet
think
weight.
you can
Yeah.
get down to a 185 or something.
185.
Two
Man,
225s for sure. Two maybe it's only 200. I'm not
bet-
sure.
I'll bet you're getting that into the what's it called? Over 2,000
sure
feet
where
per
you're going.
second anyway.
Oh yeah, into supersonic. You mean? Is that what you
Yeah.
were looking for? Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, if
Here's
you-
what I'm going to do. Because Phil said that what is okay. Phil said that he wants to see it in real time. So I'm going to show it to everybody in real time.
Okay.
Just need to share my screen here. Now I need to go over here. Okay, so this is just a still, but look, you can see the spirals where it goes through. So this is as it's entering. Obviously, the cavity doesn't stay that big, but I'm still can't hear this. Skip.
300 grain.
Here we
match.
go. There we go. Oh, I thought it was under 11. It was 986 feet. per
Yeah,
second.
look at that. It's a goddamn drill.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is at 75. Later in the video, he goes up to 200. Like, look at the wound channel there.
No kidding. Huh. That's pretty wild. It's definitely not destabilizing for that first 14 inches or so, eh?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's what right
Or 18
about
inches.
there. Yeah,
Look at that.
and look at the. You can see it in the lower right hand corner here.
That is odd.
Isn't that crazy?
So then that almost looks like something you'd find in an adult novelty store.
Yeah.
The
it
next
does.
day.
Yeah. 5 hours later. So this is his shot at. Oh, hang on. This is his shot at 200 meters.
Okay,
Oh yes,
so
the impact velocity was
right, I was
942.
just looking at that, but the previous video, he
It
had
was 980 something impact velocity at 75 meters or yards.
it would shed velocity a lot quicker than that, I would think. But anyway,
I would have thought so too, but
hmm.
I guess if it starts out subsonic, maybe
I
it's-
suppose it's not going through transonic then. right?
yeah. So maybe it's just not. Yeah,
Did he just throw a bunch of grass at it?
yeah. He was trying to find the impact because the hole like sealed up on it. So I don't know.
Oh.
Fucking, he's doing his thing. But look at that. Like that's
Crazy.
at 200 meters. Like
Hmm.
that would drop any animal that you could possibly want it to drop, right?
Well, that's a big old gouger, I'm telling you.
No kidding. He's pulling the round out here.
Eh,
So yeah, it's oddly satisfying. Like, look at that.
That is gnarly.
Like, you do not want that inside you, twisting it once every 3 inches of you.
Holy smokes. That is really interesting stuff.
I know, right? Usually when I go on these tangents, everybody's like, "Oh, Chris is just an idiot," but like, but like that is really, yeah. And it's a solid brass. Yeah. Phil says it's solid. Yeah. Yeah. Most people say, that I'm an idiot, and maybe I am, but that is interesting. I don't care what anybody says.
Even to me, it is kind of interesting because I'm the high performance, fast bullets at long range kind of guy, right?
I'm really interested in this whole slow, large bullets idea that is gaining steam. You just read Yuke's comment.
Yeah.
And Mike's not wrong. He says that's a damn grappling hook. He's like, yeah, I could tie some dental floss around that and throw it up on Rapunzel's tower and climb my way up there.
Fuck your hair, lady. I'm gonna just come on up there. Have us a good old night.
I like the way Phil's telling me that I'm reinventing the wheel here. I might be the millionth monkey that wrote Shakespeare. Anyway, I think, I would love to have a short barreled, because that's the other thing too, is people are shooting these out of as little as like 9-inch barrels, like same as the 300 Blackout, right? So could you imagine that for like a Bush self-defense gun? 9-inch barrel, 1-in-3 twist with a 300 grain bullet that out of the muzzle comes out just under 1,100 feet per second.
That's interesting. That might be man, I hate this phrase like you wouldn't believe, but a game changer for like dangerous game guides and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
I used to take my 358 Norma up to the Yukon when I got it up there for bear spray. And, something light like that, because you're packing not only your gear but your damn hunter's gear a lot of the time too, and dragging him down off the mountain.
Especially if you could do it out of a semi. With your standard AR-10 magazine, you could use those AR-10 pistol magazines, 10 rounds.
Okay, we got to stop talking about this. I'm showing a little bit of interest, and I don't like it.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to get you interested in it. I'm going to get you interested in a semi-automatic 8.6 Blackout. Well, it'll have to, in Canada, it'll have to be restricted.
In an R20.
Put the 9-inch barrel on it. In an R20. Yeah, 100%. We're just all about spending JR's R&D money tonight.
We're good like that, right?
Yeah. You're welcome, JR.
That's right. Oh, man.
You
suppose we should...
point that Phil said, though, depends on the energy.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the energy is downrange at 200 meters. But like Steve wants you to stay on the light side. He's like, don't go down the rabbit hole.
I've gone down too many.
Yeah.
I'd rather go down a rabbit hole than down an aisle again. That's for damn sure.
Should we wrap this shit up?
Let's let these poor people go.
Yeah, okay. I have to go make some enchiladas.
Right.
Oh, okay. Now there's a problem. So Boone said, is it a Wildcat still? Which, yes, I think it would qualify as a Wildcat cartridge, right?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah. But what he made me think of was that video that's going around the internet of the guy with the Glock and has the mountain lion stalking him.
Oh, I saw that one. Wouldn't that be something, hey?
Yeah.
I don't know why he didn't shoot that son of a bitch right in the fucking face.
I'll be honest with you. I think it's because he was trying to keep his Glock inside the frame of his camera. Like, no way he had that up to his face, because the camera would have been in the way.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's kind of an idiot for not putting the fucking camera down. Because what if the sound hadn't have stopped the charge?
Right. Yeah.
Because he fired that first shot just as it started to charge him.
Yeah, that's right. And unless he had like a GoPro, chest-mounted GoPro or something like that, maybe. I don't know. Yeah,
well, no, but you could tell how it's in not letterbox, vertical mobile. The video's in mobile. Yeah, it was definitely a cell phone camera. Yeah.
What a
But anyway, he made me think of that. But I would not be afraid of any mountain lions if I was carrying an R20 Mark I. It chambered in 8.6 Blackout.
With a 9-inch barrel.
with a knife. Well, I wouldn't be able to carry it in the bush then, but I'd put the 18.5 on it. I'd have 2 barrels, one for the range and one for the wilderness.
All right.
Yeah.
I think you're a little tired. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe something in your juice bottle there's affecting you.
We-
It's time for nappy time, Chris.
we beat this dead horse enough.
Yeah.
Well, if in that case, guys, if you're still watching us at this point, make sure you throw us a like, give us that thumbs up, give us the heart. If you're Jens, we know you're just going to give us the angry face anyway. I would have dumped the whole mag in the face of that thing while my butt was unloading a whole clip into my SpongeBob underpants.
SpongeBob underpants. That is fantastic. Yeah.
Oh, I really
right
hope
there
that,
with you.
I really hope that he just wrote that off the cuff and that there was no like premeditation to that line, because that was genius. Guys, you can check out the show at facebook.com/BS podcast. Some of you are there right now. Leave us a review. Let us know how you like us. Notice I didn't say anything about negative reviews. Also, if you like our content, leave a like on the page and make sure you share the page. If you're following us on Facebook or YouTube, make sure that you subscribe and give us the thumbs up there. You can email us if you'd like to. We'd love to hear from you. Give us feedback, ask us questions, just say mean things to us. It's info@bspodcast.ca. We're going to get so many emails from fucking Yuka Kazi and Bending Ballistics now.
I know.
We're going to have to put them on our spam filter.
Yeah.
You want to do the closing comments?
You betcha I do.
All righty.
All right. Once again, and as always, a massive thank you to all of our sponsors, without whom we wouldn't be able to have a show in the first place. So Shane and Steve with EM Precision Rifles, Miles, Carey, and Cappy with call sign 66, Duncan and Rob at Bolt Action Coffee, Phil Odell at Odell Engineering, Doug and Niza with Mark Scopes Canada, Vanya and Carly with Apex Optics, and Oscar with Ribstone Gunsmithing. Thank you so much, you guys. Thanks for sticking it out with us, even though we do stupid shows like this and talk crap. And
we did end up talking about hunting for a very substantial amount.
We did. You know what? We're gonna hear a lot about this on our trip down to SHOT Show.
Yeah.
In January with Jens.
In January. Yep. Yeah, we're taking Jens with us. He's our new cameraman.
You betcha.
Yeah.
New cameraman. He's always been our cameraman.
He's always been our cameraman. And our he's also our bookkeeper and administrator.
That's right. And he's always been our voice of reason.
Yeah. Nah. Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to go that far, but it's going to be a fun trip. Anybody else who's going to SHOT Show, let us know so that we make sure that we meet up with you. For example, I had no idea that Alex from Affordable Optics and Rifle Reviews was there last year. Never met up with them.
Well, you know what? There's a lot of people that say that you'll never make every booth at SHOT Show, no matter how hard you try.
And I believe that. And I was at the show last year when everybody said that it was small. This year I think was going to be really fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be good. We'll go down there with a team, divide and conquer. Yeah. See if we can get into trouble. See if we can find some good fish tacos down there. I don't know.
I've booked us a hotel off the strip, just so you know.
Oh, okay.
Because we're taking a car down there. We'll fucking drive.
Right. Exactly.
Beers at Bergara, 5:00. The Bergara booth turns
awesome.
Into they tap the keg at 5:00 that's what it was last year. I'm assuming it'll be this year. So
all right, perfect.
Guys, thanks for joining us, and we will see everybody next week.
Yeah. Do I have the button? You have the button? I got the button.
Well, I can do the intro button if you want to do the end broadcast button.
All right, let's do that. We're a finely oiled machine.
Aren't we, though? Have a good night, guys. We'll see you later. My dog's hungry.
This right here has the ability with a 30 caliber clip to disperse with 30 bullets within half a second.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber.
You're listening to your weekly dose of BS. Ballistically Speaking. The Ballistically Speaking Podcast.